Hello everyone and welcome to the final part of this campaign guide here for WrestleMania 42. In this video we're going to be covering 78 to 84, which is the third stat increase that we have. Of course, in the last part we averaged roughly in the 1.6 mark, 1.7 mark to like the 1.8 mark. Now we're at the 1.7 mark to the 1.9 mark, in some cases as well 2 million. So this is where the campaign definitely racks up in difficulty. However, we can use every single card that we have to help us out, which is very nice, very helpful. So let's just start it off, really. So of course, we're going to be using Joe Hendry and Solruka. Two very good cards that if you did get your hands on, great. If you didn't, you did miss out a bit, because they are some very strong cards. Now, I'm not going to show, I'm going to avoid Battle Pass cards and Immortal cards. Our Stage 84 will actually be a no Battle Pass card or Immortal card use. So, of course, if you do need help with 84, of course, that will be towards the end of the video. But we're just going to show off stage 78 here. So we are going to use the table here on Joe Hendry's match. It just falls a bit short with our equipment. Of course, she does have his guitar as well, which we did have. That is 2.2 million in momentum, which is more than enough. Of course, Tiffany Stratton there, just shy of 2 million. Then lastly, most importantly, you do need tag teams. Don't just super move with random people, because they may actually lose. In this case, it is 2 million each. So get, but you do have that table to consider. So do be considerate. Of course, make sure you do put some level of equipment on, just so you can cover that match. But yeah, that is stage 78 done. Stage 79 is a lot easier than stage 78 and covers speed and toughness rather than just toughness, power. So, firstly, 2.2 mil, that is your super move match. So you need to win the other two matches that are solo matches, which is actually really helpful for us. So, first of all, we're going to use our Randy Orton event card. Of course, we're going to be using Bobby Heenan as our manager as well, and Solruka. And that is that match sorted. Now, we are not going to be using Lola for obvious reasons. If you're watching this video, you've most likely not got her. If you have got Lola, this video's not for you. So yeah, 2.2 million. That you do need to hit. So again, like I said, put some equipment on your second female, such as Chelsea Green. So Randy Orton with that first match at 1.768. Well, just shy of it. And then Chelsea Green would be our super move match. You need a minimum of 1.115 to be on a comfortable win there. Of course, anything more than that, perfect. And then lastly, Solruka beats Stephanie Vaquer at a 1.78 mil. And that is your second stage, your stage 79 completed. Of course, super moon that second one. Stage 80. Now, this one is an all-speed affair, meaning that it's going to be quite difficult. In good news, though, we do have Randy Orton and we've got Solruka. And we're also going to use help from Chelsea Green, who's at 1.4 million, which is good, because that is good enough for super move at 2.2. Of course, you need 1.1, well, 1.135 ideally, or in normal cases, 1.2 million would be enough for that stage anyway. So let's just show this match. Of course, we've got 1.9 million to beat. Of course, you do have a support as well. So Randy Orton beats Brad Baylor. Can't remember his name. So Ruka will beat Charlotte Flair. And then lastly, Chelsea Green will be a super move. She'll go to 2.8 million against AJ's 2.2 million, which is not ideal. And that stage is completed. Alright, stage 81 requires some level of actual strategy. And this is where it gets difficult, and this is what I was on about your 2 million matches. It's right here at 4.3 million. Of course, you do have a male tagging charisma, a 1.7 million there, which is basically Chelsea Green, and then a female power match, which is Soruka. Soruka would be a good one for that. So, of course, if I swap Sol's and Chelsea's equipment, so Chelsea goes to 1.735. Now, annoyingly, she actually would not win. However, we're going to be using WrestleMania equipment plus now we do actually have that belt. However, we are going to use a table, but just to show this off, as we've got more than enough difference. Speed, of course. Make sure you can win that. Make sure though you can win these matches. When I did it for real, I lost a few super moves because I had to wait for procs. But yeah, always check your matches can actually win, and and you'd ideally want it on a consistent basis. Ideally though, a super move in this match will give you sort of that idea. And this first match, we're going to be using Chelsea Green against Nia Jax, 1.78. And then finally, table on table, 1.5 million, 1.6 million, and that is a win. Alright. Next is stage 82. And these are our final stages. So, stage 82, honestly, you have 2 4 million matches and a 2 million match. Well, basically a 2 million match. Now, a few things to be aware of. Using WrestleMania equipment will help you a lot. In this case, I'm going to use Joe Hendry's guitar. I know it is a bit behind the paywall. However, there are other options. Jake Batu's event card, Randy Orton's event card, Tom D'Angelo's event card, Brock Lesnar's special edition, stuff like that. Joe Hendry's just our best that we've currently got. Anyway, especially considering that for our setup anyway, we are going to be using more WrestleMania power equipment. Of course, we are going to be using a table as well, and just to help support the female match. Saying that though, however, we also do have to be aware of that 4.5 million match, which is 2.25 million roughly together. So yeah, we're just going to use our table here. However, if my knowledge serves me correct, we shouldn't actually need to. But we're just covering ourselves. 1.9 million there, 1.8 million on Roxy and Lady Flam respectively. Joe Hendry gets a very easy win here against Austin Theory. However, like I said, there's a load of alternatives that you could use. Roman Reigns Limited Editions also releasing soon. And then this is your super move match. I'm just going to use Joe, Jade Snake, and Randy. There's a few people you could use. As long as they hit that 2.25 together, which is like 1. Ideally, you want 1.2. 1.2 would be enough. 1.15. Alright. And next up is stage 83. Stage 83 is a little bit annoying. However, I'm going to do a bit of a different one than I did in my campaign guide, as I should be able to win with this. However, this is actually the first time testing this. It is the male tag match as match 3. Now, normally we do actually have to use a. Actually, no, we shouldn't need Oblivion. Actually, we could just use a universe. So let's run the Orton on. Put some WrestleMania equipment on Randy. That is enough. Yep, that's enough. And then just that female super move match there as your second match. Make sure you can win the matches though, of course. Like I always say, before you use your super move, make sure you can win them. Do 2 playthroughs. So firstly, Randy Orton will face off against Bravo, I think that is. Yep, Bravo. This is your super move match. Of course, do put some power toughness equipment on first before really competing in that match. With our setup, it's fine, but just in case. And then lastly, we are going to be using our support. Now, we're actually lucky because I didn't actually use a right arrow. But that's how good these cards are. Of course, plenty of ways of doing that match, though. But that is stage 83 completed. Now, the last one, stage 84. Now, this is actually back to how it used to be, power and charisma. So, just to sort of show this match off, we're not going to be using Yokozuna. And this is why we put Randy Orton as our main, is in our momentum, actually. So, firstly, we do need to do some switching around. So, it's going to take everyone who's got WrestleMania, the power equipment off. So, firstly, to make this match a lot easier for us, we're going to be using Joe Hendry's power guitar. Randy Orton's going to take some rewind equipment. And then, lastly, Jake Roberts is going to take Yoko's Salt Bucket. However, just normal power equipment will do the same impact. Randy Orton. And then the female match is going to have 2 sets of charisma equipment. Like that. Alright. Now, I'm actually going to do a test to see if I can avoid using the Oblivion. However, I'm pretty sure I should be. Hopefully I can. If I can't, I'll just show it with the Oblivion. Or just a universe would be fine as well. It's about 40k difference. So I'm just going to show it both route, 2 different routes. One may work. This is the first time actually testing this. What I do know, though, is the male matches are both going to win their respective matches. Just going to show it in the order. So, Randy and Joe Hendry would take the first match, the base card as well, not the event card. And Joe Hendry actually procs as well, which is nice. Now this match I'm a bit unsure about. I think they should win, but they might not. It's more just saying no, they won't. Just because Sol Ruka's too low. So yeah, we are going to have to use the Oblivion. That would have actually been funny if we could. But so we will have to use the Oblivion, which I wouldn't like to use. But what we do know is that, of course, what I do know though is the WrestleMania universe will work. Because the difference in the two matches is, I think it was around 160k difference, something along those lines. So just being shy of on that first one is a bit annoying, but you know. So yeah, same process, but instead of using the Rewind universe that we did use, I'm going to be using the Oblivion, which, you know, it is a Battle Pass thing. I know I said no Battle Pass, but a WWE universe will be fine. Will be fine because the difference is about 30k, which is equates to 60k, which... Yeah, as you can see there, Chelsea will get to more than enough. Sol will be slightly low. However, you could also get Stephanie. Steph is a decent option that you can get. Of course, getting the backstage AJ Lee as well. And we are just going to super move 3.8 and 3.9 mil. 3.7, 3.7, and that is the end of your campaign guide. And when beating that match will get you Lola Vice. Alright, so yeah, that is how you would get Lola Vice from my perspective. Of course, there's plenty of ways to do it, but yeah, of course, find the way that works for you and what you've got. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. Of course, the next campaign guide will be out for next tier. And yeah, this has been Kim Supercard, and goodbye.